like to call the Council on Aging Board of Directors meeting to order on Thursday, August 12th, at approximately 5:40. Welcome, everyone. Let's do a quick round of intros. We're also testing with new equipment. Brianna, tell us if you can hear us and see us.
Yeah, you guys are live on Facebook.
Good. I'm JD Miller, Chair.
Linda Hayes, Director.
Susan Drovich Kelly, Vice Chair.
Marie Fricker, member.
Barbara McFadden, Associate Member.
Janice LeBlanc, Board Member.
Leslie James, Board Member.
Gordon Price,
Elaine Shabari, Liaison for Friends of Scituate Seniors.
Laurie Brady, Board Member.
Welcome, everyone. So we don't have meeting minutes to review from July.
They were taken, but
They were taken, but not sort of submitted. And we don't have- okay. It saves us all 2 minutes. Marie, you're taking notes
Yes.
tonight. Thank you. So we'll bypass, we'll just stagger July and August minutes until September, and that moves us right into. Well, we have all 3 pages somehow somewhere. Hopefully we've got page 1, 2,
hopefully,
and 3.
otherwise there's more copies downstairs. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome. Good to see you. Cut out, so hopefully it feels good in here. We have again for, I would say, the 3rd or 4th time already this summer since June, our cooling center through the emergency management, the fire department. So this time until 6, so there have been EMTs in the building until 6 last night and tonight, and hopefully tomorrow night. Or maybe it will break early, but so, I mean, that's been nice. I don't know that we've had a lot of traffic due to being the cooling center, but I think it was probably something that sent a few people in that might not have come or had planned to come, but then said, you know, it's a cooling center, let's go today. So I think we've seen some.
Do people even know that, do we have a cooling center and that they should
Well,
look here or call town hall or?
I do have to admit, and it could be something more I do for our population, but they do send out an email broadcast. To everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's an email they posted.
Emergency management, they put it on
Okay,
the website.
good.
Did they do a robocall?
I can't say that.
I don't
Because,
think-
that might be something to prompt them on, because they certainly do robocalls about groundwater. So, you know what I mean? That
I mean, it's
that
great
could
to-
help, because some people are technologically challenged, and
They might
Not
listen to
everybody
it.
has emails.
not
That's
everybody
true.
checks their emails.
Yeah. Good.
So,
Go ahead, take.
okay, there may be more, hopefully, I would think of it, but let's just say busy doesn't begin to cover everything here. We're serving a good portion of the population right out of the gate. The programs that we're offering, the classes or activities are very well attended. We're busy. We have volunteers in place who are busy. The front desk is really busy for their time here. So not a lot of extra bandwidth or extra, looking for work to do. And it's summer, of course, so some vacation coordination too. I'm very happy, of course, to have Jess and Jill and Ian on staff, because they've been fabulous in keeping up with everything as best we can. We do still have our outreach coordinator opening, so that still has not panned out. So we're regrouping yet again, and of course, it's all worth it if we get the right person in the job. So HR is reposting, and we're taking a couple of different avenues. I am in touch at least with Bridgewater, and maybe going to the School of Social Work, and maybe just taking another look at somebody newer than eventually.
And the other thing I would offer, which I did before, if that didn't work out, is if Bob or you would send me the job description, we can post it on our 50+ job website and on LinkedIn, because we have like 1,000 people. So that could definitely.
I mean, I would expect they're looking at the website where it's also posted, but you know what I mean? They're probably scouring
Who
websites,
knows?
but-
I mean, so the interesting part about this is that working with the 50+ group is that a lot of people that are unemployed don't really think about checking their own municipal
No. right.
town, their own municipal website for jobs, nor do they think about checking the state website for
Mhm.
jobs. It's a really interesting phenomenon that we've
Mhm.
uncovered. So I think, you know, if you're interested in
Yep.
trying it from all levels, got nothing to lose.
No, not at all.
Got nothing to lose with it.
I thought we were closer before.
Yeah, that's true.
So we are completing our newsletter for this upcoming September, October issue, but we'll also plan a supplemental October issue just because we can. It will still cost us the same. We didn't do one in March. I may have mentioned that before, so we are planning to at least, since we're trying to add, continually trying to add, and it's always hard to schedule for 2 months anyway. But we do have our liturgical publications advertising salesperson was in-house for a week in July, and she did very well calling on people and getting some more advertising. So we do have more options coming our way, whether it's every month or whether it's just an expanded newsletter. I'm not sure which we prefer, but we do have some options coming up. Our lunch program, yay, is scheduled to begin September 2nd. We'll have a barbecue lunch. It's a Thursday, so we're planning to do that. And then the weekly daily lunch will start the following Tuesday because that is Labor Day weekend. So then the 7th will be the next lunch. So.
How are you advertising it? I haven't seen anything on it.
I'm telling you right now.
Oh, I thought you were done.
You're the first to know. I'm just saying, so we just finished our newsletter. It'll be in there.
Yeah.
And then we will advertise, but we are just getting to this. We are just getting to this now. So you're the first to know. It'll,
Perfect.
We're the
Start up
first
in
to know
September.
about this. Okay.
That's what
okay,
you're saying. That's great.
I'm telling you first. So advertising will be the way we always do advertising. So newsletter and any other outreach we can do. We have a menu already prepared, so short of any changes to that. Again, one of the last hurdles had been getting who is now US Foods as our food distributor to take us on as a client. Otherwise, we were really having difficulty. And I read that from another COA just today, that they didn't know what they were going to do, but they couldn't get on a vendor list. So the order just went in, I think today or yesterday. So there'll be a weekly or a bi-weekly delivery. So he's going to plan accordingly. So
That's exciting.
it is exciting.
Very exciting.
What type of food's on the menu?
I thought you might ask that. So just for fun, I did print it out. Well, I mean, he's great. I think this is going to be popular potentially. But so the barbecue chicken kickoff will be with corn on the cob, potato salad, I believe, and a strawberry shortcake is the plan. But Tuesdays would be a soup and sandwich, excuse me, every week, unless he comes up with something else. So a potato and leek soup and a chicken salad wrap, another day baked pasta with chicken, a meatloaf, stuffed breast of chicken, and then a pulled pork sandwich with baked beans, spaghetti and meatballs, chicken marsala, a Monte Cristo sandwich, lasagna, shrimp scampi, fried chicken. So creative and trying to be varied, trying to, target maybe a fish weekly, a chicken weekly. soup
So
and
this is
sandwich
only gonna
weekly.
be weekly, like every
4
2
days a week,
4 days. a
Monday
week.
through Thursday.
Wow, that's quite an undertaking.
Monday.
And how much will it cost?
Monday to Thursday.
Right now, the plan is $5. So
Wow,
plus a
do they serve
a
wine?
single cafe offering each day, so a sandwich of the day or a soup of the day out of the cafe window. So that would be more of a somewhat of a takeout option. So less for that, maybe $3 or $4 for that.
Is there gonna be like, I know it's a cafe, so like if somebody were to come or wanted to meet somebody here in the morning, would it be like coffee and like, would it be like coffee?
There's always coffee.
There's always.
No, but I mean like yogurt or, like a,
Well, we don't want to
Continental.
stretch him too thin.
Okay.
There is probably a muffin
Yeah, or
of
something.
the week maybe, and we do get Panera, which has been sustaining us, so to speak, so
Wow.
far, because it's really just been free donations only, but once we're really operational at the cafe, coffee will be, I guess we haven't decided how much that will be. There may be a yoga, he's talked about that. Might have a muffin, might have something else
Food or something like that,
occasionally,
yeah. Oh, that's
a
cool.
cereal,
Very
but the lunch is the main show.
That'd be great.
Fabulous.
How many people are you anticipating on September 2nd? I mean, you have to cook for a certain amount of people.
That
You
will
have-
be by reservation, by,
Oh, people have to reserve us?
they do.
Oh,
I mean, it's not like a restaurant, so yes, they have to
Okay.
reserve ahead of time, just like anytime we have an event, especially where food's concerned. So
okay.
that would be the case. And we're only guessing at this point whether we're going to serve 30 people on a regular basis, 15. I think that could be very big, obviously, people hear about it, and we want it to be. So I think our max right now that we would want, considering not so much the capacity, but what we might want to do, I don't think we want to do more than 90 right
Wow,
now.
that's.
So that is a lot, but, so we'll see.
So that means reservations every
Every
day,
day.
every day.
By the day before.
And that's, Fred's gotta know how many different.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put an article in the paper? The reason I'm asking is that I'm on a committee that's trying to figure out how to reach out to new people. And I know the signage here, people will know because people talk at different things that this is going on. But I wondered if you were putting something in the paper, because my experience with the newsletter is you get it, right at the beginning of the month or later. So people may not see it until the day before or something in the newsletter.
We'll be posting things, and we haven't started back, honestly, with the Mariner, but that is something that I will talk to Jess
Yeah, the
about.
Mariner will pick it up every week.
So we may put the menu in every week in the Mariner. That would be one way to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, kickoff.
Yeah, that's great.
So we are also, so our outreach coordinator position is still not filled, and we are continuing to seek drivers. We did make an arrangement with a couple of school bus drivers. Honestly, I don't know exactly what, they haven't been used yet, but we had to jump through a group just because they get paid by the school department and they're on their roster, and then we would also pay them, so we had to go through sort of a conflict resolution form that the selectmen had to sign. So that's done, but also we may either lose one of the 2 part-time drivers we have had since March, or I'm looking into, and this has not been done, we've never had a driver where we gave them 20 or more hours, which would have to be done regularly, and of course then they become benefit eligible, which is really a whole other animal. So I really haven't received approval for that. I don't know how easy that is or whether GATRA, I'm trying to find out, would actually cover all of that. Fringe benefit package, which could be significant because it would need family health insurance. So granted, he has to pay half, but we're just not sure. Otherwise, we will lose him. So we need drivers, and we're not the only ones in that boat. So you'll see from the transportation report, I mean, we are still giving rides and doing medical out of town, but Social Community Action Council is taking care of that. And we have a beautiful new van out there, which is still in the process of being registered, but it looks good. But that's a lot of vans for only using maybe one a day and not for a full day. So definitely we are a little concerned and really wanting to correct that as soon as we can. So the food pantry, is active. And things are okay. It was discussed, the cars coming through the parking lot, fairly regularly, both from recreation for their morning programs and also for the food pantry. We are going to look into, the project is going to look into some speed bumps, just because it's a quick
We're
pace.
using it as a cut through.
It's a cut through.
Yeah.
So that did come up and we are talking about that. Parking lot monitors are in place for the most part. I could still use a few more, but we are counting cars as we're considered fully operational at this point. It was somewhat arbitrary, but we have programs every day, and I didn't see why not. And we'd rather start it now.
Yeah.
If in fact we do have to continue this for the 6 months that's been prescribed by the planning board.
Yeah, let's get them over summer.
Yes, and not be doing it in February. So, but it's every hour on the hour. It's not easy, but yesterday I will say we had a full parking lot. As we did for the Rotary pancake breakfast, although I didn't keep tabs on that. I just heard people were having some trouble parking, so. That's good, it's good. We had a program that was just reinstated yesterday. That's monthly, the Art for the Mind. Some of you might have been there or heard about it. So it's well attended. Although people seem to think, I guess we also need to start sending out reminders, and I'm not sure we'll recruit to do that. But we're supposed to have 69, we set up 69, 70 chairs for reservations, and we had about 55. So. that
Can you do a
happens.
robocall to remind people? Could it be as simple as a robocall to
Well, it
remind
could
the
be a
people that signed
robocall,
up?
But
So it wouldn't
simple,
be
I mean,
it's too hard to,
it's just time. It's
yeah.
just having the time to do that
Totally.
generator testing.
Yeah.
So that's been requested. So anyway, it just lists the programs and activities, and obviously I have a couple of different sheets for you. I mean, I'm listing them in the report just so you get a sense. It's a little bit categorized for you. So the exercise, which is our main effort these days, I guess, but several of them, and they're all well attended, and some of you again may have heard or experienced that both the balance and the lift your spirits classes, there's 2 of each a week, and everybody wants to come to both. And we're trying to distribute it because truly, I mean, the rooms have walls no matter which room we use. So the fitness room, yes, it really only comfortably for some things that you move in. It's really more comfortable at a 20-person limit. And we have upwards to 30 people easily trying to get into the classes. So we are having to limit and ask for signups. And then sometimes there's a wait list and sometimes they get in. But even if it's downstairs, Sue really can't handle more than the 25 or 27 or 28 that we've been allowing in. It's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people to manage
It
a
is
class.
for a single instructor. So she did just now consent to a third class today. But so hopefully, and you know, things will shake out themselves. Obviously, some people believe for late fall to Florida. I'm sure it will be fine. It's a new problem and it's a great problem, but it is frustrating for some. And what has happened somewhat is we do have new people coming in. They do want to start doing those in their phone. So it's a little bit hard to advertise and say we have these programs. Right? Well, but you can't do it this week.
Right.
So we're trying to set new policy, which is not easy, never easy, where they can only sign up a week ahead of time. And even with that, there'll be a lot of leapfrogging. It's just, it's hard to please everybody at this point. But we will. Bob's classes have been going great, iPad training, the games, we're trying to add a few for the upcoming months. Art classes have been going well. We had to suspend what the instructor had to suspend. She was Jo Killian Wild. She was doing the painting on Wednesday afternoon. So she had to suspend for August. She'll be back in September. Judy Rossman is going from a drawing class to a watercolor painting, which I think will be popular. So that's great. You know, we continue obviously to try to replace Joanne, which is really impossible, but we'll keep looking and keep filling. We started the movies, so there's been maybe 12, 14 people in the last 2 weeks for the movies. Bocce games, you know, there's been people playing bocce even in some of the heat, 3 days at least. Others could simply call and ask if they want to choose the balls if they had a group during the day. But we did get called about maybe a COA tournament, various COAs. So I need to send that word out to people if they'd like to do that, because I already heard from the Duxbury commissioner of bocce.
So
Game on. Game on.
Let's go back to movies.
Yeah.
Screens and audiovisual and lighting, all okay.
With the room darkening shades behind
Yeah.
the screen,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
and I think the movie's fine
Okay.
with the lighting. We did have the program yesterday, and I will say, and I haven't looked into this or researched it, but she needs a white screen for her art slide, so it's museum quality. And she could have used our screen, but our screen is apparently a gray or a silver screen, which is usually fine, but not in this case. So we've got this very large screen, which would have been lovely, And hers is smaller, but we got it up on the table and it served its purposes, and I think everybody could see.
This was an art class.
It's an art history presentation, slide-based. She did use our microphone, and that really distributed the sound well. I sat in the back, and, it was great, you could hear it, but.
Can you take off this meeting?
Okay, well, thank you very much. You too. So,
So for movies, it's fine.
for movies is great.
Okay. That was my question.
I mean, I'll look into it, what,
Yeah, that was the question.
if it's the 90% of the time, that's what you get, I wouldn't have known the difference. Of
Yeah.
course, we went with the architects.
Yeah. Sure.
Subcontractor design. Blah, blah, blah. So, it's just one thing, but if people were wondering why we didn't use our screen, that was why we didn't.
So how do you come up with the numbers? Are these people who sign up through that website that sign in every day, or
Are
is
you
somebody?
just asking how do we come up with numbers for each of the programs?
Yeah, I am.
My senior center.
So it's people, because I know some people in Mahjong don't bother to sign in. So how do we do that?
They should be, and I'm surprised because we have the front desk practically tricks them when they come in.
Yeah.
And I might, if I see them bypassing the machine.
So that's something, the word, we have to get out the word that they have to sign in. Because hand and foot looks like it's underreported here. I've been going to that, and there's like 20 some women every week. And
Well,
this is only
even-
3 weeks, I understand that.
It's 4 weeks.
Well, no, because they didn't meet on Monday or Tuesday of the 4th weekend of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thanks. And the duplicated versus the unduplicated, when you look at the numbers, and I don't know if everybody was looking at them, yes.
No.
But-
Yeah.
You're skipping
So
ahead.
I'll get to that.
Oh, I thought that's what we were doing.
Well, I'm just,
No.
no, I'm just talking about my report,
Oh, she was on that policy. Oh, okay.
just
Sorry.
running through the different programs
And
on my
exercise.
report. But if anybody else has any questions, that's fine. Trail walking is starting in September, so I think people will be interested in that. The Parkinson's support group I'm going to mention is restarting in September, but also having a social that was requested. So next week, later in the day, 4 o'clock, that group is getting together with their facilitator, which is nice. We started our reflexology appointments this past month. August, I'm sorry, this month. So we did start. And she is right now scheduled to come monthly, and the appointments are generally, I'm not sure if they're every hour. We are scheduling them flexibly, because you can sign up for a half hour or an hour or 20 minutes, and then she just needs a break in between. But I do think it's going to become popular, and I do think we're going to ask her nicely if she might come twice a month. Chair massage appointments are also going to start next month for the Duxbury woman, and then we'll keep going. The nurse visits are twice monthly. We are working on the art show sale that we're having at the end of August. Then planning to kick off a display of senior art, which still could be publicized more, but I've heard from some people based on what I put in the last newsletter. But we will work on trying to get them. We just have the hanging system installed, so it's kind of ready to roll, which is good.
And I was,
Do you have a program guide that kind of describes what each of these courses?
In the newsletter,
That's strictly it in the newsletter.
that's strictly it right
Okay.
now. It certainly should be something online and on the website. I mean,
Okay.
we've relied a lot on that vehicle.
Mhm.
Now, we ran out of newsletters yesterday. Printed copies. Needless to say, that's never
I was
happened.
gonna say, was that the first time
That's
that?
the first. We've thrown away more newsletters than
really.
I want to think about.
Yeah, but that's exciting. That is actually exciting. I just want to mention one thing, and that is that the grief, for anyone that might know somebody that is experiencing grief, the grief support group is still meeting once a month.
Well, we would need some information. on
Yeah,
that.
so,
Where
yeah,
does that mean?
well, I started a grief support group back in November, for people that have experienced,
Where does it mean?
it's different, it's.
Oh, different locations.
It's a different location. We're not meeting here. We may become meeting here, in the winter, who knows? But right now, we're meeting at different people's homes.
Okay.
Because we were on Zoom.
we were doing it by Zoom every week.
So people can call you if they're interested.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
They can. They can do either. Okay, well, anyway, so I mentioned transportation, and there is a transportation report, which does show the numbers, which are, lower than has traditionally been what we've supported, although the grocery shopping is still happening twice a week, once to Shaw's, another day to Village Market. So those numbers are not bad in July.
Don't you think, I thought we were taking advantage of Village Market.
Don't you think summer numbers usually come down a little bit?
Never thought about that. I didn't go back and look at that.
Because it's, then all of a sudden there's family coming in that could take mom and dad to.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
That could be it. That could be. Usually, actually, in the winter, it goes down. I don't know, just because people don't want to.
Don't wanna go out, right.
Or whether it's just a factor.
Right.
There's been some activity for bringing people here to, senior center activity, which is great. Hopefully that will increase. We did reinstate the joint efforts exercise, which is something that some people have needed transportation to in the past. So they are beginning to come back and use it. So that's good. We've had personal requests that we really can meet if we have the drivers at the opportunity that the person needs the ride. But for instance, whether they could get to where their horses are, their horse, let's say, is in Scituate and they can't get to it without a ride because they are disabled. So that is something we could do if we had the driver to do that. It's just like taking somebody to the hairdresser, which we do, as well as the doctors. So we are starting to get calls and we are saying, yes, we can, but we're limited. That's all right now. And we are having to get the van registered. So that's tricky just because the registry, it's just not that easy to do it. So yes, take care of that. So outreach and wellness, I am trying to take care of what calls I can. Erica steps in when able. She is in-house, as you know, and she's in and out. She spends some time at the police station and around town and in homes. We are doing, and I did not get a number for Shine, but we are getting several calls, of course, and pretty much fill up the monthly meeting times.
I'm here twice a month and it's been full both times.
And they're gonna start up, just from the past this month, they're gonna start up
Field.
another training session again for people that want to become Shine.
That's not gonna start until the spring.
Right, well,
But
winter.
Elaine, your days are full.
Yeah, right now, yeah. And it's gonna be crazy
Open enrollment starts in
at the end of
October.
October,
People are already thinking.
because that's
about
gonna be
that.
open enrollment.
But Elaine's been great about even just doing some phone appointments if she didn't have room for others. So yes, we've had a lot of inquiries about that. And the legal inquiries have also come back. So again, we are helping people. It's often me, and so we fill the spot. So I've already talked about the lunch and kitchen, but we have our start date and explain the cafe. We did, I'll just mention, we've had a test, so to speak, of the space. So we had the memorial celebration of life for Betty Johnson. That was on a Saturday with her family, and it was really well attended and well done. We had a caterer come in, so it was really just a light lunch that they put out. They didn't cook in the kitchen. Over 90 people came.
That was perfect.
It was really,
Really
really
was.
nice. It was
Really
a
nice.
great day.
Great space for it too.
Very nice space. I think they really appreciated that. And then the Rotary Club, just this past Saturday, had the pancake breakfast. There were a lot of people, but the people were happy. Rotary says they've never seen that many people come.
For
We
years.
easily had 300 people.
Not for years.
And I am.
Really? Who was flipping the pancakes?
One guy.
Fred?
No.
Joe and a
Joe-
friend.
Joe
Yeah,
Kelly.
friend.
Oh, so this is like
This is
one
Bob.
person
Fred.
who is a Rotary member?
Yeah, yeah.
Flipping, and
Yep.
is it a fundraiser?
Yep.
Okay, I mean,
One of those
I'm
big
so new to
fundraisers, yeah.
town.
So we did plan the cooking for the kitchen, and we used the kitchen for everything but the pancakes, which in hindsight was a good thing. Right?
Where did he make the pancakes?
They have a special
He set up a
griddle
grill
grill,
Oh, a
Outside.
pancake.
Outside.
pancake griddle.
Oh, wow, that's
Outside.
cool.
Because really, that would have been a lot for the brand new kitchen. And that's what Joe was thinking about. So that was fine. And people who especially earlier in the morning. It wasn't hot yet, so the family sat out on the patio. It was very nice for them. It was really great. And I think it's been commented on that people lingered. It was very comfortable. We had about 14 tables set up and people were at all the tables.
Outside too.
And outside too, that's right. And
So when an outside organization like that comes in, or like a family comes in, are you just giving them the space, you know?
Well, so far it's been unusual. So no, I wouldn't say that on a regular basis. And I am working on a policy. I'm trying to complete a policy that considers all the
Like
options.
fee
But most
basis?
people, it will be fee-based for private. But there are the community groups and there are other people affiliated with us. So I felt we were really sponsoring that event for Betty Johnson's family. And
Right, I
do
understand. That
And the
was
same with
different.
Rotary. It's a
Okay.
little bit in kind.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that said, there will be a fee schedule or a fee structure. But
Yeah, I was just, yeah,
But
you
it
have
will
to,
be
and it probably is on a case by case basis.
And it draws people here
yes,
that haven't been here,
A
which
lot
is
of
really
people
nice.
came because they wanted to see what the
Yeah.
senior center. was
Yeah,
like.
that's really
Yeah.
good. We want people to spread the
Especially the
word.
younger people, they want to see what it was like.
They wanted free
Yeah, so they
pancakes.
can tell their parents to come,
Right.
their mother, father, yeah.
yeah, oftentimes that is what the rentals do, is just bring in demographics that don't
Yeah.
normally come in the door. So
Interesting.
it was a good thing to do. And
Yeah, no,
this was a good test. So it was a good test of the space and what we might tweak for other things that we do. You know, there was a long line. I had to keep running back and forth for the coffee. Fred already wants to move the coffee and I know he's right, but he's gonna give us some time to adjust to that idea. So
where's he gonna move it to?
Well,
Oh, that's a secret. Okay.
just saying,
Yeah.
that's not where we put it, so we'll
Yeah.
live with it for a little while. That's
I-
probably right.
I'm just gonna interject to say, we also thank you for your help with that. On Saturday.
Yes, you worked hard, you worked hard.
It was fun. It was fun. They're a great group and I feel honorary to be part of that. Good to be involved in that. Okay. I think I missed something. I know you have one more page, kitchen. Oh, and the building. So, you know, there's still things going on. You might notice up here, we started with the hand and chair railing to go in on the second floor, which had been approved.
I didn't know.
But there was some miscommunication on the order, so we had enough of the chair rail pieces to go on both walls, but not the handrail. So that's why it's suspended and that's why those blocks are there on their own. So they'll be back. We had to place in order for more of the handrail. So hopefully we'll get that next week. The hanging system I already mentioned. There is a public building commission meeting next week as well. And that's where we do get approval for certain other spending that's going on. So for instance, there's a panic buttons. We only got one panic button, which we were just thinking that's all we needed at the front desk, little Velcro under the desk and so it fell off and it's just not that
What's a
easy.
panic button?
Well, it's if somebody had to
If there's a problem
communicate
with
with
someone,
with
If
dispatch.
what?
if there's a problem with someone.
Oh, if somebody has a medical emergency?
Not necessarily,
or
more of a
threaten.
threat.
An intruder.
Oh, if there was an, oh, okay, and,
Yeah.
oh, like at a bank.
So,
Okay, got it. Gee, that's interesting.
So we only thought we needed one, as it turns out with, you know, the social worker, and that's a closed-in office, and then the veterans office is up here,
That's a
and they
good
had one at town hall, and it fell off, so now we're getting hard wiring
That's a
and
good
more
idea.
panic buttons, and
That's a good
nothing
idea.
is inexpensive, so that's going, it's like a $4,000 thing
Yeah.
now.
Wow.
We do need more things in the kitchen that, you know, we're continuing to order, so that will come before them, and some door hardware, so. But we're still under budget, we still do
Wow.
have,
That's
money
awesome.
that's being managed by Steve, so that's a good thing, and I'm told that's never happened.
Wow.
So far, so good there.
That's because of the volunteers and traffic.
Oh, for the traffic study, that's true, using volunteers for the traffic study is also good. So if you do want to look at the sheets that do give you some numbers, and what I did was, just so you can see what we get out of my senior center, you know, there's sort of just all the categories. Categories could be better, but I'm just saying that maybe could be better detailed, or some things end up in the wrong category, but generally speaking, education, fitness, health, information, instruction, recreation, So those are the numbers. So fitness and exercise, you can see at 193 unduplicated. That means individuals, whether they come 5 times or once or 25 times. That's one person.
So is this number people who've signed up on the?
It
on
doesn't
My
matter.
activities, but.
No.
Or is it the people that show?
It's people that,
Okay, you have a way,
it's attendance.
they come in and punch in downstairs at the,
Right.
at the screen, okay.
They could sign up and not show up and we don't count.
Okay.
Unless they get a check mark. So that's it. Those are the main categories and the bigger numbers, but if you want to look at the next page or on the back of that, the fitness and exercise, you know, just for an idea that 46 people attend Sue's Balance for Life class. And again, we can't fit 46 people. So let's say we get, 28, sometimes they don't all get in when they want to. Chair Yoga with Elizabeth is also, and it's fairly distributed Wednesday and Friday. The Lift Your Spirits, you can see, is also in the 40s. Tai Chi, I will say, we ended up doing 2 class sessions because there were so many people. So that's back to back right now. The numbers, they drift in and out. So it could be we put it back together, but I am thinking I will add a second day to just do a practice. And that will help people as well. But I did bring in a different instructor to do Tai Chi, which is nice. I think she's great. Zumba also, so they like the downstairs. So these numbers mean that we use the downstairs room for exercise classes, which was always the idea. It's the backup exercise class. But for instance, on Wednesday, when we have Art for the Mind coming in, we can't do that. So sometimes they are up here where we can only really comfortably fit 20 to 22. Sometimes it'll be downstairs where we really don't want more than 30. So it's still not 44. So I don't know. To go outside, that would be fine. And then I did think you'd like to see the instructional because Mahjong, beginner Mahjong is in there now. Regular Mahjong is on the recreation page, but because people are learning beginner Mahjong, it's in the instruction, but that's what we could. And line dancing ended up in instruction. So, that's new, everybody likes that too. But you can just see what things, so 22 people learning Mahjong, that's a lot for Janet. It's a lot.
It's a lot of people to teach Mahjong.
And then they should be filtering in, and some are into the regular play. We are right now, I guess we're recording 28, I mean, easily. I know there were 32 in there one time, but some of them may overlap. So in other words, they were registered under beginner Mahjong, but then they ended up playing and they were part of the 32. That said, of course, the game room, we have 4 tables, that's 16 chairs for games, plus the round poker table, which is suitable for some games. So that could be another 4 or 5, depending on the game. And I'm just mentioning that because now we also have to filter some into the adjacent room because we have more people than can comfortably fit in the game room. Just because we did a lot in the game room, and I would say that was experimental, having things in the game room that sometimes might not all be complementary at the same time. So we're working on that too. That will all come out. So that's the lay of the land here at the senior center. I hope you've had a chance to come in and see some of the action because it's been great. And we're happy. Everybody's mostly smiling because they don't get into strength training.
Good.
That's it. Questions?
Questions?
Jay, you had a question. I remember sitting through a lot of the discussions when Joel was developing the site plan and at the public building commission meetings. There was talk of there being an overflow parking area in the grass over here. I noticed there were bollards blocking that off. So was that overflow parking area eliminated?
No, I think it's still an option, but that's what the parking monitoring is maybe gonna help determine whether we whether we actually pave that and use it, or whether we can keep it green. And the parking monitoring for the next 6 months will.
Yeah.
The money is
Maybe give us the
reserved
data.
right now. The money is reserved for doing it.
Yeah.
The assumption is we'd have to do it.
If somebody happened to mention, well, it's not to be used because they get blocked off.
Yeah.
Well, that might be as temporary.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Do you have building updates also? Did you want to?
Oh, I started to do that and then I guess I got sidetracked, but no, I think.
So the
that's-
handrails sort of going
Handrails
in?
are going in. The landscapers are still responsible for the weeding and the mowing.
But that's not gonna even happen until September, right?
Well, they're doing it is what I mean. I think
Weeding
last
and
time I
mowing,
might have
right,
said
right.
we were taking it over, but then they thought better of it and they are keeping it up for now until they
But
do
new,
their
new
regular.
landscaping in terms of seeding and things like that.
that
Won't
was-
even happen until September.
Minor.
It seems like the stuff that they put in
Mhm.
is taking very
Mm.
nicely.
It does, maybe the extra
Some of
rains,
it's already started growing.
because they have not had to water and we
Right.
had just
No.
determined 2 or 3 weeks ago that the contractor would now bring in water. So they were going to transport literally a water truck instead of using the Scituate water because there was just that issue of how to do it within the time frame. But they haven't had to bring it,
No,
so that's good.
It's looking pretty good.
How about, any problem with dumpster pickups? Any problems with?
We need a bigger dumpster. But we're not really sure, people are using it probably that shouldn't, the food pantry is generating more. We haven't even started lunch yet and it's filled.
Right.
Well, you know, people,
Beforehand,
this
so.
is, I have business with it, so.
So we are trying to figure out.
Unfortunately, you're probably gonna have to go off on it. That's the answer. but-
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Linda? Thank you. How tired are you?
Thanks for asking.
Well, there's lots to do every day. Right?
Yeah. Hopefully we're meeting the need. I think everybody is all hands on deck all the time.
Yeah.
Very glad to have our volunteers and they are.
Good.
So if anybody else wants to, we still have.
Yeah,
still have
the more we have, the more we can sort of download.
Yeah. Well, tax workup, of course, if anyone's interested, but obviously it doesn't have to, but for the parking monitoring and the cafe window potentially, and we do have people waiting in the wings for the lunch program, but there's more.
Thank you. Liaisons, I know Karen isn't here. I haven't heard from her, so I'm assuming she's just out. And so Joan? Dr. Olson?
Well, we have our first meeting at the new place August 3rd at the new building, which is at 350 Granite Street. Just before you get to the South Shore Plaza. If you go in there, it's
On the right-hand side, on the other side?
It's a turn just before you get to the plaza.
Okay.
There are 2 big buildings. So the first building you go to the right of, and you keep on going, you go to the second building. And the best place to park is in the parking garage. Because it's right near the entrance to the building, and then it's located on the 3rd floor. It's a big place. You can get lost easily. So we had a tour of the building. They showed us the whole building. Actually, we have a layout because it is huge. So they're happy, very happy about that. They're planning an open house later on. They have a specific date for it. So they always give a financial report, and then they also said that during the COVID, a lot of the other agencies had downsized, but South Shore LV actually increased the customers and workers. So they're doing very good. And then the Massachusetts Home Care Administration Service is now called the Care Coordinator. And then the South Shore LV Service is working on an extensive 5-year plan. The personal care attendance contract with the state, the rate is now $16.10 per hour. And holidays and overtime is $24.15. So that's for personal care workers. So that's an increase. Their annual meeting will be sometime in November. And That's about all for that.
What's going on?
Any
What's the
dinner in
community
St.
dinner?
Luke's?
There's always a dinner.
It's gonna be, August 22nd, and it's gonna be all kinds of salads and brownies and ice cream. And, meal in July was great. We had 40 people. They didn't want to leave because we hadn't seen each other.
Good.
But it was very successful. They're very happy with the whole thing.
That's gonna be right on site.
So we'll continue to hope, to have it every month.
And we have St.
The
Luke's,
October one, the Rotary always does for us.
St. Luke's.
Yeah,
Right,
that's St.
St.
Luke's.
Luke's, August 22nd,
Okay.
Sunday, It's 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
And all I heard was ice cream and brownies.
That's what I
I know you said something else. That's all
That's all it
I heard.
says on the flyer.
That's all I really heard. was
Brownies and ice
brownies
cream,
for
but we
Sunday
do
night.
all kinds of salads. And we do this every year. It's very popular,
Good summer meal to me. Very good. Anything else, Joe?
That's it.
Okay. Elaine, boss?
Yeah, we just started
Yes.
really meeting again, getting organized under our new leadership. It's just, a work in progress. We have decided that we're not doing the fashion show because we couldn't get businesses to work with us, probably mostly because of COVID. So, maybe we'll look at that in the spring. Well, though, maybe not. It's depending on what happens with COVID. We were looking at doing a trivia night, which we have done in the past, and has been very successful, but we were looking at doing that September 17th, which is only a month away, which is really, doesn't give us anywhere near enough time. And again, we don't know what's happening with COVID. Will we be able to do it? So we think we're gonna be putting that off as well. Still think we're having a Christmas fair. Again, we've got COVID to think about, but that will be in December, and we're gonna be meeting and discussing that in more detail on Wednesday to see what space we want to do it here. So where we can do it, how we can set it up and all that sort of stuff. We just get the bare bones down next week and then move on from there. We're gonna do a lot more vendors than displays and see how that works out.
So Elaine, when you do that, do you look for donations of things that you can have like for silent auctions or?
No, we will not be doing the white elephant table because that's a ton of work and a big mess. We don't do silent auction. We have had raffles in the past. We do a lot of raffles in Foss. And we are planning on doing a raffle with the Christmas fair as well, but we're looking at doing it a little bit differently. So when the vendors pay for their spot, we're asking them to donate one thing that would be about $30 worth of something, and that would be the raffle. So
I see, so it's more like vendor based.
yeah, this is totally different for us. It's totally new. We haven't done this in the past.
Okay.
We've always had members
You would
put
donate.
together the raffle baskets, and which
Yeah.
worked out well, but again, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. I've been on Christmas bazaar.
Yeah,
committees in the
Yeah,
past.
so we'll see how it works out this year. And maybe go back to the drawing board next year.
Did you have the kitchen open and stuff?
That's what we're gonna discuss. Wednesday, we're meeting with Fred and
Have
Linda
brownies and ice cream.
Yeah.
Seems like it could be a good draw.
to see whether, we really don't wanna do a lunch. We were thinking, coffee, tea, and
Some
baked goods or
signature
something
item.
like
I think
that.
they're looking- A signature item they're looking for that would, be a draw, but be
Yeah,
something that
yeah.
people would remember and maybe.
So we don't know, and, and well, Fred's limited with his hours and everything, so it's all a work in progress. And
Christmas
it
will
may be that way
when
for a
you know
while.
it.
And we don't know, again, if, COVID's gonna impact
Yep.
the fair, so.
Okay, very good. Gordon? Build a campus?
Yeah, we've finally wrapped up our fundraising.
Awesome.
I had two people pleading with me last week to get a donation, and they wanted to be on the donor board, so we're able to squeeze them in with the manufacturer of the donor board. at the last minute. So we ended up with a little over 200 donors. And we're just kind of pushing $260,000.
Wow, awesome.
We'll have about $15,000 in expenses with the donor board and the plaque. The donor board's going to be about $10,000. It's going to be to the right of the elevator, and it's a backlit piece like the library piece of ours will have a
Lighting.
Boston Tower on it.
Oh, yeah.
And the donors listed on the right. Plaques will be similar, the same plaques basically that are at the library, same companies doing them. And they're gonna be mounted above the name plaque on the rooms now. So they'll be very complimentary, they'll fit very nice. So I met with Linda a week or so ago, we talked about when we could have a donor reception to thank them for their generosity. We had kind of figured October 1st or October 8th. October 8th is a holiday weekend. These are Fridays. So I think the 1st would probably be better. It'll be a 4 to 6 event. October 1st may or may not be realistic because now the manufacturers of the donor board and the plaque and everybody else who's ordering stuff and shipping stuff is saying, well, that may not be a realistic date, so we have to push it back a little bit, which we didn't want to do because some of these people who donated can be living from Florida. Right. And we want to have as many people have the opportunity to be here as possible. So we'll do the best we can. Right. So it might be October 1st, it might be a little bit later.
Yeah, the second weekend, right? The week
You're
after.
saying that's the holiday weekend.
No, the week after Columbus Day weekend.
Yeah, with the 15th.
Yeah, they'd be like the 15th. Yeah, that might be more realistic. Or we plan on having a raw bar. I'll talk to probably both Joby Gordon and Jonathan Doffin. And see whether either one of them or both of them would like to help out with a raw bar. And then we'll just do cheese and crackers. We're kicking around the idea amongst the committee of beer and wine. Some people think it's important, other people don't think it's important.
Serving oysters.
We get to make that decision. It involves licensing and hiring something like Taylor Building.
Yeah,
Taylor.
From-
Package, so it's all right, we'll see. So that will be our last event, and after that, we're gonna close the books on we'll probably have about another $15,000, roughly $15,000 contribution to make to the town, which would bring us up around $245,000. And our goal was $250, and my own personal goal was $250. We're just about there, so we'll be pretty happy with that. As an aside, Jerry Clemick and I were invited to come down to the Marshfield Scituate on Monday. I didn't know that we were going to become consultants for fundraising.
For their new
But,
renovation.
Of course, this is all for pro bono, so we actually spent all 3 hours there with the people. The director, Carol, nice
Carol
lady,
Hamilton's really nice.
and a few of their people. They don't call them friends. They're special. They have another name. Yeah, yeah. So they were interested in hearing what we did, how we did it, what worked, what didn't work. They're pretty enthused about the calendar. I said, the calendar was liked by most people. It was not liked by a few people, but I said we really did the calendar because we wanted to create a buzz in town. And it accomplished that. It didn't make a lot of money. It made about $8,000 or $9,000.
It made
on
some
the calendar,
money, right.
but it got things going. So I think they're going to think in terms of doing something like that. So Jerry and I, I'm sure we'll be down there again once or twice to help them out. So, but a couple of
Probably be a
interesting
second
things
ball.
at Marshfield. We weren't able to get a tour of their construction addition because, like here, you can't come in during the day when they're working on it. But they're going to invite us to come down at the end of the day sometime. They're doubling the size of their center. They're going from about 13,000 to 26,000.
Where are they doing it? Are they going out,
They're going back away from
back away from?
Webster Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have plenty of room there for parking.
Humongous.
Because
parking
it's a
lot.
big piece of town-owned property. And there are 3 baseball fields there. And they also, if you haven't been over there, I say take a ride over. They have an outdoor, the Council on Aging has an outdoor recreation area. They have outdoor physical stuff to do. I didn't go down and do anything, but 3 or 4 stations where they can do whatever, lifting and stretching. And,
Outdoor exercise equipment.
yeah, exercise equipment.
Yeah.
They have 2 pickleball courts, and they have a couple picnic tables and 2 outdoor ping pong tables, which are interesting. If the wind is blowing at all,
They also
I'm
have
not sure how you
gardening,
can
they
play
also
ping
do
pong
gardening.
unless you use a heavier ball. But they're like Linda, they're being inundated with people who are participating. They had no trouble getting their funding. Interestingly, they packaged their funding with the new safety complex.
Yeah.
So what people wanted the safety complex, so they couldn't say, well,
Yeah,
no,
they-
don't want the
They
senior
passed
center
right
addition.
away.
So they had to, it was a whole package of nothing. So that really helped them. So they're excited about their new facility. And it's gonna be really amazing, I'm sure. I asked, and this, I know I've talked to Linda about this, we've kicked this around a few people over the year, but I said, are you gonna be taking in, I know Duxbury does, like, Duxbury couple of times, taking in adults for, what do they call it, Linda? Adults,
Social day
adult,
program?
I don't know, if it's daycare.
Special, social day program,
Yeah,
activity
yeah.
based.
It was interesting, I learned a lot. They're gonna start to do some of that. There are apparently 2 levels. One level where you have to have like very professional, certified, registered people, and then a lesser level, and I forget what it was called, but it doesn't require special staffing to oversee or work with those people. So I think she said they were taking only 2 people a day. So I said, no, I know that that's something that Linda had at some point contemplated, at some point in the future, maybe when we get through this burst of activity now, so, but that was kind of neat that they're gonna start doing some of that as well. So, great people, if you have a chance, I say, well, their audition is gonna be opening, they expect in December.
Oh,
But even if you're over by Marshfield Way, just go down the street and just take a look at it. It's a beautiful complex. Not that ours isn't, and some of them, I think Carol has been here. I think.
Yeah.
And a couple of the other people they were raving about how great our facility was. So they're very happy that we are where we are, and compared to where we were a year and a half, 2 years ago. Nice to visit them and hear their comments. That's it.
Okay. Well, great effort on the fundraiser.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any business? Old, new?
I do like Marie's article that she just dropped off.
Oh, nice article,
Interview
yeah.
with Jim
Thank you.
Osborne, very nice.
My idol of all times.
We did have it at the old senior center one time. It was great.
Really,
Well, if there are no other items to bring to the table, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Janet. Thank you very much, everyone.
I should check the calendar.
Nice seeing you all again.
So
Our
our
next
next meeting is
September-
September 9th.
I had 10.
It's Friday. Well,
September 8th and 9th, Tuesday,
Right.
Wednesday.
So it's got to be 10. September 9th.
Wednesday.
It's September 9th, is that what we decided?
Yes.
I mean, you would know anyway, second Thursday, but just early in the month because the first is,
It's like, yeah, it's like at the end of.
it's like right around the corner.